The book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, starting at 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, as well as the elder bishops that have labored to teach us this truth over the years. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing this word in truth, sincerity, and indeed. It's your brother Kapatazar from the Great Millstone Chicago branch, coming at you with another real quick lesson. All right. And this is just a lesson on faith and believe in the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Do not ever try to put Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the God of heaven and earth, into a box. Don't try to limit him, okay? The things that he is able to do are beyond human comprehension and outside of human imagination, okay? So in days to come, in dire times, we can't doubt Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, okay? The scriptures tell us, man, the doubting and faithful, the faint-hearted shall not be defended, all right? So we have to fully believe that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is and that he is able, because he is, all right? I'm going to get a quick example, okay, of that. I'm going to go back to that Luke 18, Lord willing. So we go to the book of 2 Kings chapter 7, right? All right, so this is going into the prophet Elisha, okay? So this is a story, all right, or this is an account, Salakia, all right, of an unbelieving heart, okay? Now, a lot of people are familiar with the previous chapter, 2 Kings, the 6th chapter, because that gives you the history and the account of the land of Samaria suffering a great famine. It was so great that two women had agreed to eat their own children. One woman said, I will boil my son today. And another woman, and she said, hey, we'll boil my son tomorrow. All right. So that's how terrible it got. That's how terrible the famine was, because they were besieged by the Syrian army. All right. And so it was terrible. It was very, very bad. OK, so when you go to the next chapter, all right, the famine is still going on. But what did Elijah say, right? Or Elisha, what did Elisha say? This is 2 Kings chapter 7, verse 1. Then Elisha said, hear ye the word of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh, tomorrow about this time shall a measure of fine flour be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel in the gate of Samaria. So now he made this declaration, right? Because the Lord told him this. Now, this is during the famine. So this is those prices that he gave about that time. Those were like normal prices. All right. Those were like, you know, because you got to remember, during this siege, during this famine, I believe they said a goat's head was for like, well, you know what? Let's get it. Don't talk about it. Be about it. All right. So there's a siege happening. Hold on one second. Okay, it says, so 2 Kings 6 and 25, right? So this Syrian king, he's going through the land, right? In Samaria, right? It says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until a ass's head or a donkey's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver. So that's 80 pieces of silver for a donkey's head. And the 4th part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. So bird shit, dove shit, right? All right. So dove shit at this time was selling for 5 pieces of silver. That's very expensive. But that's just how bad the famine was when they besieged the city. OK, so it goes into the king of Israel. He's going by. All right. Then the 2 women like, yeah, she's hiding her son. We were supposed to eat her son. So this is horrific. So this is an horrific time. So Elijah, he's coming up. He's saying, yeah, tomorrow it's going to be plenty. It's going to be a lot of food. It's going to be, you know what I mean? Shit is going to be back good. All right. So we won't have to eat donkey heads and dove shit and paying a lot of money for it. All right. We're going to be able to eat real food, and it's going to be a regular cost. So at this time, people are fucking starving to death, and he makes this declaration because the Lord said it. All right. But what's the point? The point is, verse 2, then a Lord on whose hand the king leaned answered the man of God. So this is a captain, right? And said, behold, if Yahweh would make windows in heaven, might this thing be? All right. So this guy, he's scoffing. He's saying, hey, man, the Lord can open up the gates of heaven, and that ain't going to happen. You see what I'm saying? So he didn't just scoff Elijah. He scoffed the Lord in his unbelief, right? And he said, behold, so Elisha said, behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, but shall not eat thereof, right? So he said, oh, you're going to see this come to pass, but you ain't finna eat. All right. So that's very powerful. So I'm not going to go through this whole thing. Y'all can read this chapter for yourself, but I'll just sum it up. There were 4 lepers. They were starving to death. They like, well, shit, we either going to sit here and starve to death, or we going to, you know what I mean? We going to see what we can scrap up, you know what I mean, from the Syrians. You know, hopefully they take us, you know what I mean, and make us slaves. At least we'll eat, right? So they go to the camp of the Syrians, but the Syrians weren't there. Why? Because the Lord sent a strong delusion on the Syrians that they thought that the king of Israel had linked up with the king of Egypt and and some Egyptians, right? So they thought that the Israelites made an allegiance with some Egyptians and some other Hamites, right? And so they thought the battle was coming down on them. So they fled the camp, and them fleeing the camp, all right, that essentially lifted up the siege. And so they just left. They left everything. They left gold. They left food. They left everything, right? And so the lepers, they find in this big abandoned camp, all right, where the Syrian host was, where the Syrian army was. And they like, oh, shit, you know, we got to tell the people, like, hey, there's plenty of gold, plenty of silver, food and resources, raiment, clothes, all that shit. They left everything. All right. And so the Syrians, the lepers, they go back, they tell everybody. All right. So the king of Israel, he sends a few guys out there to go see if it's true. And lo and behold, it's true. Right. So then I'm going to keep going down, because this is the point. All right, so I'll go to verse 15, 2 Kings 7:15. And they went after them to Jordan, and lo, all the way was full of garments and vessels, which the Syrians had cast away in their haste. So they was getting the hell out of there. And the messengers returned and told the king. And the people went out and spoiled the tents of the Syrians. So a measure of fine flour was sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel, according to the word of Yahweh. So the siege was lifted. They were able to get food again. All right. They got their gold. They spoiled it. They spoiled all the host and everything that they left. So they came up. So within 24 hours, they went from being in a sore famine to having abundance again. You see? And the word of the Lord came upon the prophet Elisha to tell the people this, man. All right. And the captain of the king scoffed, man. All right. It says, verse 17, and the king appointed the Lord on whose hand he leaned to have the charge of the gate. And the people trode upon him in the gate, and he died, as the man of God had said, who spake when the king came down to him, man. All right. So this dude got trampled. All right. He appointed this captain to be in charge of the gate, but the people rushed the gate, man, and trampled this guy to death, man. All right. Because what? Elisha had told him, oh, you're going to see these things come to pass, but you ain't going to eat of it. All right. Verse 18. Slakia. And it came to pass, as the man of God had spoken to the king, saying, 2 measures of barley for a shekel, and a measure of fine flour for a shekel, shall be tomorrow about this time in the gate of Samaria. And the Lord answered the man, all right, the captain had answered Elisha, the man of God, and said, now behold, if the Lord should make the windows in heaven, might such a thing be? And he said, behold, you shall see it with thy eyes, but shall not eat thereof. And so it fell out to him, for the people trode upon him in the gate, and he died, man. All right. So this is an example of what unbelief will get you, man. All right. When Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai say something is going to come to pass, we have to fucking believe it. No matter how in dire straits we may be, no matter how fucked up the situation may be. All right. The Lord said, hey, my servants is going to eat. I'm going to get that. Because, hey, there's getting ready. This damn devil here in America, he's setting up a siege, all right? He's setting up a siege. He's setting up a system to where the believers in God are going to be outcast, okay? Left to fend for ourselves, okay? The ones that ain't locked up, all right? Hey, man, we're going to be outcasts. But the Lord told us we was going to be straight, man. All right. Therefore, Isaiah 65:13, therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. All right. So everybody else that's not believing in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, that's really not getting down for their crown, you ain't gonna make it, man. All right? You're not gonna make it. This thing is a thing of faith, man, and belief. We have to believe that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to provide, no matter how fucked up the situation may be, man. All right? We gotta understand, hey, he is able. This is the book of Luke 18, and I'm going to end it. It's the book of Luke 18:27. Yahweh Shai said, the things which are impossible with men are possible with God. All right? The things that are impossible with men are possible with God, man. Okay? So let's not be like the captain of that Israel, of that king of Israel, man. All right. Even though people are dying of starvation and famine is sore heavy, he scoffed the word of the Lord. All right. Yahweh power said, hey, tomorrow shit gonna be back good. Matter of fact, food gonna be on sale. All right. In the middle of a famine, in one day, man. In one day, shit is gonna be straight. That dude scoffed, man. He scoffed. And what happened? He got his ass stomped out. Okay? We ain't here to get stomped out. We here to believe. All right? So let's hold on to the faith. So I hope this was edifying. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, Shalom, and Abba Ball.